Welcome to part 5 of Faster Chord Changes in 7 Days. Here we build muscle memory. We use a trick called FLASHCHORDS. This will take your chord changes to the next level. Now, when you were in school, in math class, you may have used flashcards. And what the teacher would do is hold up the card and you would spit out the answer right away, because as soon as you saw the problem, you knew the answer. And that's what flashcards were all about. If it took you a while to produce the answer, now you had to work on your flashcards a little bit more. That's what we're going to do here. When you see the chord in the sheet music, instantly you're going to go to that chord. You don't even have to think about it. You see a G, you go to a G. You're not even thinking. So now you're looking at the sheet music and automatically you're going to the chord. That is muscle memory, and that's what we're going to do here today, is build muscle memory. Here we go. Now the one thing you need to stop doing is using a different chord form based on what key you're in or what chord progression you might be playing, what chord might be next. For example, you may be taught to, if you have a G chord, to just add this note, and there you have your E minor. Now, if you do that, you're never going to learn how to do the E minor, because you're not building any muscle memory for that E minor, and when you see that E minor, you're not going to ever automatically go to it. You have to stop doing that entirely. Different chord fingerings are not acceptable anymore. So use the same chord fingering for every chord. That way the chord is the chord. When you see the chord, you go to the chord. It's much better in the end to do it that way. So let's take a look at my flashchords. And what this is it is the most popular keys and the chords we use in those keys. And we need to work on the chords together in the key. So we can't randomly work on these chord changes. We have to do it based on the chords that are in the key and the chords you're typically going to find in the key. For example, you take a look at C here. Some of these chords you see are 1-1, some are 1-2. Now the 1-1 chords are the principal chords in the key of C. The 1-2 chords are the relative minor chords. So most songs are going to have the principal chords and perhaps a relative minor chord thrown in. That's how most songs work. Maybe there's a few relative minor chords. So what we do here is, since in the key of C, we're going to have the principal chords most definitely and most commonly, and maybe a relative minor thrown in, we're going to start with the principal chords. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut these out. These are flashcards, and we call them flashchords. You're going to cut all these out, and you're going to start with the 1-1s. And you can have somebody hold these up for you, or you can lay them out on the table. It's best to have somebody to hold them up for you. So you have somebody hold up just one of these 1-1 chords. So maybe they hold up a C chord to begin with, then maybe a G, maybe an F, and in random order, we're working on chord changes with just the principal chords in the key of C. And then what we're going to do is add in one of the relative minor chords. So maybe we're going to add an A minor now into the mix. And so randomly these chords are going to be held up by someone you know. And they should be held up during the last strum. And it's probably best to play a very basic strum, just maybe 4 strums. And then on strum number 4, someone holds up a new chord, and you go ahead and go to that chord. After the A minor, maybe take the A minor out, and let's do the D minor now. Let's just do the principal chords with D minor, okay? Same thing with the E. Maybe let's just do the principal chords with the E minor. And then, of course, you can take all the chords in the key of C, and you can randomly do chord changes with those. When you're comfortable with the key of C, only then do you move on to the key of G. Same thing. Now you see 2-1 and 2-2. Now the 2-1, those are the principal chords in the key of G. And then we can do the same thing, add a few different minor chords in, one at a time, and get to know the key of G. And it's important not to move on until you know that key. And it's also important to use the fingerings that are indicated on here. Some of them you may find a little bit different, but you'll notice when you use these fingerings, chord changes in these different keys are a whole lot easier, and they make a whole lot more sense. And so long as you stick with the fingerings, you're going to build muscle memory before you know it. So work on flash chords, maybe for 5-10 minutes every time you practice. If you don't have somebody to hold up the chords for you, just make an arrangement of the chords on a table and go through it. And then change the arrangement. Do not take chords from one key and from another key and mix them all up. Stick with the keys. Let's say you play a song in the key of D. You're going to have all the chord changes in the key of D already down. So when you look at it on the sheet music, you see the chord, it's muscle memory. You go to the chord, you don't think about it, you get to play the music. Think about the music, you think about the strums you're using, and ultimately you forget about those chords. There is a PDF below for all the most popular keys, and also for Patreon members, you get the minor keys too. The chords are a little bit different that we're going to use in the minor keys. So if you join me on Patreon, you can grab those as well. This is a way to do it for fast chord changes, to build muscle memory. Flash Chords is going to get you there. Be sure to check out the link below to get the free PDF, and check out playukulelenow.com for lots more like this. And if you like the video, click the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.